Tell me something. Have you ever noticed that there's a certain type of woman who, the moment she walks into a room, it feels like the air changes? She doesn't have to be the most beautiful one. She doesn't need the most expensive clothes, or even the perfect makeup. And yet, she draws eyes, sparks curiosity, and carries this invisible glow that no one can ignore. Have you ever wondered what the secret behind that is? Well, today I'm going to reveal the exact pillars that can make any woman naturally more beautiful and absolutely irresistible in the eyes of men. The very first step is one of the most powerful: building a healthy relationship with yourself. Think about it. How many times have you looked in the mirror and the first thing you saw were flaws? My skin doesn't look good, my hair is a mess. I look tired. We women are taught from such a young age to be our own harshest critics. But let me tell you this. What truly attracts others is not perfection, it's how you see yourself. Picture this. You wake up, glance in the mirror, and instead of complaining, you choose to smile at yourself. It may sound simple, but that tiny shift changes everything. When you treat yourself with kindness, the whole world responds differently. Men can sense when a woman carries herself with love. It's like an invisible energy surrounding her presence, making everyone want to be closer. Self-compassion also means forgiving yourself for past mistakes. How many times have you carried guilt around, replaying in your mind what you should have done differently? Self-love frees you, because it reminds you that you don't need to be perfect to be worthy of love. When you embrace yourself just as you are, you radiate confidence, and confidence is magnetic. Yes, a man may notice your outer beauty at first, but what truly holds his attention is your inner security. A woman who looks at herself with tenderness shines in a way that can't be bought. It's like turning on a light inside yourself, and everyone else can see it. And here's the best part. This process doesn't require anything outside of you. It's not about changing who you are, but about changing how you speak to yourself. And once that inner voice shifts, everything else around you begins to change too. Now, if self-love is the spark that lights you up, the next step is learning how to protect that light. Every woman who becomes truly irresistible knows this. She is not available to everyone at any time. And it's not because she's arrogant. It's because she values herself. Let's be honest. How many times have you said yes when deep down you wanted to say no? Maybe to avoid conflict, maybe because you didn't want to disappoint someone. But each time you betray yourself to please others, a little piece of respect fades away. A woman who can say no without guilt sends out a powerful signal. I respect myself, and I expect to be respected too. Men pick up on this, even if they can't explain it logically. They feel it. It's like stepping into a space outlined by invisible lines that declare, "Here stands a woman of value." Another secret is not being constantly available. You don't need to answer texts right away or drop everything the moment he calls. Not because you're playing games, but because you have a life of your own. That kind of healthy distance creates admiration. A man is far more captivated when he realizes you don't revolve around him, that he has to earn his place in your world. Boundaries don't push people away, they draw the right ones closer. Think about a rare jewel. The more protected it is, the more desirable it becomes. The same is true for you. When you refuse crumbs, when you never trade your dignity just to have someone beside you, you radiate a strength that's almost hypnotic. And here's the magic. Clear boundaries don't build walls, they build bridges of respect. They show others that to be by your side, they need to show up with honesty and integrity. And that's when real interest begins. Now, if firm boundaries already attract, imagine what happens when you combine them with authenticity. Being authentic is like finally taking a deep breath after holding it in for too long. It's freeing. And that's exactly what men find so captivating. A woman who's not afraid to be her true self. Think about how many times you've tried to adjust, to mold yourself just to please someone. Maybe by speaking differently, maybe by pretending to like something just to look interesting. But in the end, none of that lasts, because masks always fall. When you're authentic, you radiate a natural confidence that doesn't need to be explained. Men instantly sense they're dealing with someone real, not a polished version created to impress. That honesty builds connection right away. It's like finding fresh air in a world full of illusions. But here's the thing, being authentic doesn't mean revealing everything all at once. There's a kind of healthy, intelligent mystery that keeps curiosity alive. It's not manipulation, it's rhythm. Just like reading a great book. You wouldn't want the author to reveal everything in the first chapter, right? You want to discover it page by page, enjoying the journey. Even the way you dress speaks volumes here. When you choose clothes to feel good about yourself, and not just to impress, you send out a powerful message. I know who I am, and I'm happy with me. That kind of energy is magnetic because it shows you don't rely on outside validation. You approve of yourself first. This balance between showing your essence and leaving room for discovery turns relationships into exciting journeys. And when authenticity meets independence and fulfillment, the result is simply irresistible. One of the most attractive qualities in a woman is when she's truly at peace with herself. Think about it. A woman who doesn't need company to feel happy, but instead chooses to share her life with someone who adds value. That's real independence. And independence doesn't mean being cold or distant. It means being whole on your own. Financial independence is part of it, of course. When you can take care of your life without depending on anyone, you radiate freedom. But fulfillment goes far beyond money. It shows up in your passions, in the way your eyes light up when you talk about something you love, in the projects that give meaning to your life. That fire is magnetic because it shows you're not searching for someone to fill a void. You're already complete, and that makes you even more fascinating. Taking care of your body with love is another piece of the puzzle. Not because of society's standards, not to please anyone else, but because you deserve health, vitality, and well-being. When you treat yourself as a priority, you silently teach others to treat you the same way. And here's the truth. When you're fulfilled, relationships stop being a desperate need and become a conscious choice. That shift changes everything. Men can feel it immediately. They see that you're not with them because you have to be, but because you want to be. And wanting is always stronger, more magnetic than needing. So yes, independence draws people in. But when you combine that with positive energy, the effect becomes almost unstoppable. Have you ever met someone who seemed to brighten the whole room just by walking in? That's the power of positive energy. A woman who practices gratitude, nurtures her spirituality, and surrounds herself with uplifting connections doesn't have to try to attract. People simply feel drawn to her presence. Supporting other women instead of competing with them is a powerful shift. For too long, we were taught to see each other as rivals. But when you choose to lift others up, you create an invisible network of strength and light. And men notice this, they admire it, because it shows you don't need to tear anyone down to shine on your own. Feeding your mind with quality content is another secret here. Just like you choose what food you put into your body, you also need to choose what you consume with your eyes and ears. The shows you watch, the books you read, the conversations you engage in, all of that shapes your energy. And a well-fed mind creates magnetic conversations, sharp insights, and a glow that goes way beyond appearance. Spirituality, in whatever way you practice it, also adds depth. Whether it's prayer, meditation, gratitude, or faith, what matters is the peace and grounding it brings. A woman connected to something greater carries a calmness, a wisdom, a light that others can't explain but definitely feel. And when you surround yourself with positive energy, you naturally attract people who vibrate on the same level. It not only keeps the wrong ones away, but also creates space for magical connections to unfold. And if all of this already sounds powerful, just wait until you see what happens when you learn to trust the flow of life. Last but definitely not least, trusting the right timing. How many times have you compared yourself to other women, thinking you were behind in life. Maybe you told yourself you should have already found love, gotten married, built a family. That pressure creates anxiety, and anxiety is the enemy of attraction. A woman who trusts the flow of life radiates something rare: lightness. She doesn't chase, she doesn't beg, she doesn't force connections. She simply knows that what is meant for her will arrive at the right moment. And that calm confidence is incredibly attractive because it shows emotional maturity. Men can feel it when you're not desperate for attention, but at peace with yourself. That posture is magnetic. It's like saying, I don't need you to come into my life, but if you do, you'll be welcome. That kind of detachment is enchanting because it shows strength and self-assurance. When you learn to dance with the rhythm of life instead of fighting against it, everything flows more naturally. Opportunities, relationships, even love, they stop being struggles and start becoming effortless encounters. You no longer need to prove anything. You simply are, and that's what makes you irresistible. Because, in the end, the greatest power doesn't come from trying to be chosen. It comes from knowing that you also have the power to choose. So tell me, are you ready to trust the flow and let your best self rise to the surface? So tell me, how many of these secrets are already a part of your life today? And how many do you still need to awaken within yourself? Because deep down, being irresistible isn't about following society's standards. It's about becoming the most complete, authentic version of who you truly are. And when you do that, outer beauty becomes nothing more than a natural consequence. Now I want to hear from you. Which of these pillars spoke to your heart the most? Which one are you ready to start practicing today? Leave your thoughts in the comments. I absolutely love reading your stories. And of course, if this video made sense to you, go ahead and subscribe to the channel, turn on notifications, and share it with that friend who also deserves to discover this secret. Because together, we can transform not only the way men see us, but, most importantly, the way we see ourselves.